This is my review of the Fellowes P-30C PowerShredder, which I bought for £28 from Argos. I've owned this particular shredder now for around 3 or 4 weeks. It's a cross-cut shredder which can shred up to 6 sheets of paper, as you can see on the box here. It also shreds staples, paper clips, and even says shreds credit cards. So just give you a few information on the box. So in terms, it can take up to 6 sheets at a time. It cross cuts into 4mm times 34mm particles. Obviously it takes A4 paper or smaller. The waste bin is 15 litres in size. It has a auto stop and start function, and it can run up to 3 minutes before basically it needs to take a rest. So the actual shredder is in the box itself, which I will take out in a minute. So there's no more meaningful information on the box itself, so I'm going to take the shredder out of the box now. So this is what the shredder looks like itself when it comes out of the box. So you don't get much in the box other than the waste bin and the shredder unit itself, and of course some instructions. There's no lubrication oil included, which you can buy separately. In terms of the waste bin, as you can see, is of a plastic construction. There's a little notch here is the safety feature which fits onto the actual shredder itself, which tells it can be operated. You get a little clear plastic window on the bin itself, which will show you once it's reaching its capacity in terms of the shredding. You can probably also see some shredded paper I have in the bottom here. So this is a kind of example of how it cuts it into cross sections. So pretty small in size. I think you'd have a hard job kind of sellotaping all that back together in terms of security and so on. So the bin itself is obviously quite, flimsy in construction, but it is strong enough. The actual unit itself is here, so you can see here, there's all the cutting blades which shreds the paper, paper clips, and even staples and credit cards and so on. So it's actually quite heavy. So I put this on top of the unit. So as you can probably see from the video, it's quite a big shredder, so it takes up to 4 A4 paper in size. So just try and get the cable out of the way. So you can see some information on the top here. It says you can oil the blades now and again. It takes up to 6 sheets. Also indicates a credit card symbol here. You have, in terms of function, you have obviously stop. The dash is just basically an automatic one when you put the paper in, and the place sign just means continuous operation. Plus you have a reverse if paper gets stuck. Basic here tells you what not to put in there, such as your fingers. It also says not to spray with other chemicals and so on. So it is quite a large shredder, obviously because it fits A4 paper. It could be a bit smaller, as you could probably see. There's probably at least 2 or 1.5 inches either side of the actual paper slot itself. But it feels of a decent quality. Like I said, I've tested it out for around a month. I did find that when you start shredding a lot of stuff, it does eventually overheat and cut out for around 10 minutes. So if you have, say, 100 sheets of paper, it might cut out, halfway through, and then you might have to wait 5 or 10 minutes for it to cool down, but that's not an issue. Most shredders do that. So let's take a look at how it shreds things. So I'm just going to plug it in a minute. Okay, so it's now plugged in. So to switch it on, you put it to the dash, or you can choose that one, which is continuous, and also that's reverse. So it's obviously not that quiet in terms of operation, but that's not an issue. So if I put it on the normal setting and try and shred some paper, so it shreds fairly quickly and quite efficiently. So this is A4 paper. And it cuts up automatically once it's finished. Let's try another piece of paper here. So you can shred up to 6 sheets at once of A4 paper. I have tried things like birthday cards as well, which shreds pretty well. but again, make sure they're not too thick, unless it will struggle. In terms of credit cards, I never tested the creded card, so this is actually the first time I'm going to do this. So here's an old credit card of mine. So that'll work pretty well. I've actually got another one here as well, so try this one as well. And again, that's shredded pretty good, so I'm just going to switch that off again. It has a safety feature, so once you pull it up, there's a little button on the bottom which releases. I'm just going to turn the mains off a minute just to make sure. So I switched it off on the mains, and as you can see, there's a little bit of paper left inside the blades, but that's not a problem. In terms of the shredding, again, 2 credit cards are in there, so I just try and pick them out. You can probably just about see them. So it's actually done a really good job of shredding the credit cards. It doesn't shred CDs, there's nothing in the instructions that says CDs. I think CDs are probably a little too big and too tough for this particular shredder. But as you can see, all the material, you know, if you're concerned that any of this can be retrieved, it's obviously best just to put into a bucket of water or even burn it. But I don't think anybody's going to retrieve any information from that, so there's not much else to say, so just a quick look at it again. It's a pretty robust shredder. So far it has worked well, no problems at the moment, so I definitely recommend this Fellowes shredder, which was £28. I'm sure you can probably buy it cheaper somewhere else, but perhaps another couple of quid off. So the P-30C is a pretty decent shredder. And in terms of storage, because I don't obviously use this every day, I just literally take this off, put it back in there, and put the entire unit back in the box. Obviously make sure there's no paper in the bottom, and put it back in the box, and it's good to go again. So that's my review. Thanks for watching.